So you're thinking about house hacking in northern New Jersey and you want to know a little bit more about what are the markets that I like and the markets I tend to stay away from? Well, this is the perfect video for you. I'm going to be doing a deep dive county by county in the areas where house hackers are absolutely killing it in today's market. And I'm going to share some of the tips and tricks of what I'm utilizing, how I'm looking for properties, and where I'm going to find these cash cows. All right, so let's get right into it. My name's Shawn McEnteer. I'm the house hacking realtor of northern New Jersey, and I am here to help reduce the failure rate of new house hackers coming in today's market so you can be on the fast track to your financial goals. Let's go right at it. Here's New Jersey. New Jersey, man, it is what a great state. I mean, we are right between New York, Philadelphia, and that just makes an epicenter for businesses, a lot going on. So we are a suburb of NYC primarily, and that's why we get such high rents, awesome investment properties, massive appreciation, and all that kind of stuff. So let's dive deeper into it. First county I'm gonna go on to is, hey, we're gonna go right next to NYC. Now look, at the end of the day, you're probably thinking, oh, the closer you are to NYC, the better the county is. Not necessarily. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna say Hudson County, right next to New York City, is not on my #1 list for places to go to, places to invest. It is not #1. You're gonna have to stick around to see where my #1 is, so stay tuned for that. All that being said, I'm not saying Hudson County, you shouldn't invest there, but this is why we're having videos like this. I'm gonna be breaking it all down, going county by county. All right, so things you need to be aware of with Hudson County is great proximity. It's right next to NYC. You can't beat that. I mean, it's literally, you take a ferry across the river, you take the PATH train, you take a train to get in NYC. That being said, you wanna be close to the public transportation. Reason for that is parking can get very tight. So the next thing you're going to want to look for is to make sure that your unit has some form of parking if you're not close to public transportation. If you're close to public transportation, it's easy enough to say, hey, go find a garage, pay by the month, and you have to walk to your car a couple blocks away or whatever it is. But if you're not close to public transportation, people are going to need to get to their cars, at least on a weekly basis, at least going in, so you want to make sure that you have that possibility if you want to attract the really high rents. And that's something you want to do, I would think, right? You want to get the high rents. Drop a comment below if you want to get high rent and if you want to get a cash cow. Say cash cow below if that's what you're looking for. I really hope you are. Comment that, okay? So in Hudson County, you're looking for properties that are close to public transportation, have parking preferably. If they don't have parking, yeah, you really want to be close. Something about Hudson County that you need to be aware of, and this is where it gets a little sour per se. First things first, if the property is not over $1.5 million, if it's under $1 million, you might want to tread water lightly. It might not be the most desirable area. There's a reason for that. I mean, when you're that close to NYC, homes for $1.5 million, $2 million, multifamilies are very, very common. And those are the ones that are gonna produce a little bit more. But look, maybe there's one that's $1 million and maybe it's very distressed in a desirable area. Okay, take a deeper look. Or it could be in a town that does not have the most favorable laws and rules and regulations for landlords. And that's really what I like to focus on in these videos. So there are towns in every county that are more favorable and less favorable. What I'm not liking about Hudson County is there's a lot of towns that are very, very strict with landlording regulations. And even a lot of towns that kind of flip back and forth. For example, Jersey City right now, they're pretty lenient with the rent control, but a couple years ago, they're actually very strict with rent control. So if you can't raise rents, not the best of towns you want to be investing in my opinion. All right. So we want to find those towns that are consistently lenient for you. And what I'm not a fan of with Hudson County is they get very strict and it's a high level to enter. So you need to have the money in order to get in. But there's definitely other opportunity out there. Let's move around here and let's go to another county. Let's go on over to Bergen County because we see some good opportunity there. Okay, Bergen County, not bad. Still very close to NYC, as you can see here on the map. There's New York City. Here's Bergen County. All right. The further north you go, it starts getting a little bit more wildernessy, a little more spread out. So I would say from a house hacking standpoint, you probably want to be closer to NYC. So that's tip number one there is that, it's a weird shaped county where it's literally very, like, you go to a place like Fort Lee, Englewood, everything is on top of each other. They're mini little cities. And then you go to a place like Ramsey, it's country. Upper Saddle River, it's country. It is spread out homes, okay? So you want to be aware of that. The further you go up the Parkway, the further you go up Route 17, it starts getting a little more separation. I would say this Route 17, Route 4, Garden State Parkway area, everything south of that, the Hackensack, the Garfields, Teaneck, all these areas over here, Fort Lee, you're going to find a lot more opportunity to invest. So the further north you go, yeah, it's, look, you can find deals out there, but it's just less. There's not many multifamilies in those towns to begin with. And, you're just further out. So something to be aware of. Now, second thing here is Bergen County. You know me, I love having public transportation for my house hacks, for finding my investment properties. Bergen County, you get good proximity, you get some good bus routes, but the train is a little bit of a downfall. And the reason for that is it requires you to go to the Secaucus Junction, get off the train, and then take another train in NYC. So very crucial. And this is why one of my favorite counties has an NYC direct train. I'll be talking about that county in a little bit, so stay tuned on that because the NYC direct train means you get on the train station, or you get on the train from one train station and your next stop is NYC. Okay, so that's huge, especially if you want to get, once again, those high rents and maybe not so high price to enter. So what I like about Bergen County is the price to enter is a little bit lower, but I always find that the rents are also a little bit lower. So you have good price to, lower price to enter. Maybe let's say Hudson County is way up here. That price to enter, Bergen County's here, but the rents, they're not exactly great. By all means, they're not bad. You can get very high rents. Like I said, this is town by town. Every town's a little bit different. This is not across the board, but consistently, the rents, I'd say overall, are not as high, definitely as high as Hudson County, but the price to enter is good. Okay, moving along here. Let's see here. One other thing too about Bergen County, I do want to point out, super crucial. I do like the landlording laws there, a little bit more favorable. So, you get some more opportunity in Bergen County. Bam. Passaic County. Boom. All right, Passaic County here. This one's a really wacky looking county. It's like, a number 8 or something. It's weird. But I'm going to say half of it is good. The other half is a little bit more in the wilderness. So it's not bad, but like matter of fact, I have a property for sale right now in the West Milford area, which is really up there. I mean, it's New York border, it's the woods, it's beautiful, but it's all country and you're thinking, okay, what are you ever gonna get for rents up there? Well, the demand is actually really high on this property and it's producing nicely. The numbers look really good. So you're still getting demand up there, which is great. You want to hear that. That's wonderful. But, with that being said, it's very far out there. You're not getting the NYC commuter living up there too frequently. It's going to be more small businesses, small companies, stuff like that. You're not getting people going to NYC when you're in this half of Passaic County. Now, on this half of Passaic County, you're going to find a lot of opportunity. I mean, there are crazy amounts of multifamilies in a lot of these locations. The Clifton, the Passaic, Haledon, and Patterson. That being said, there's also some crazy landlording laws in these areas. All right, so you have to be very, very careful. Patterson is, you got to be tough. It's tough there. It's tough to evict people. It's tough to ask them to leave. It's not easy. So you want to tread water lightly in these areas. You might find deals that are like, oh, this is so cheap. This is great. Well, if it's cheap for a reason, because you might be getting some troublesome tenants that are coming with that property or some people that are professional tenants that really know the laws and regulations. So you want to be careful in Passaic County. One other thing about Passaic County, and this is like a major kick to the face thing that I don't like, is it has very, very high taxes. And the rents don't always match up to them. So taxes are there, but it's like, oh, I wish the rents could match up. Moving on, I'll have another town that really, it has high taxes, but also has high rents. Looking at a place like Bergen County, taxes are pretty fair. Hudson County, they're not bad because the properties are so small. So Passaic, you might get a larger property with larger taxes, and it's like, oh man, but you don't have these crazy, you don't get the rents that are really, really awesome. Okay. So moving along here, I'm going to go a little bit further west because, there is opportunity west, and let's go to Morris County. So look on the map now, you are a couple counties in between New York City. You have Hudson County, Essex County, which I'll be getting to Essex County in a little bit. Essex County, that's one of my spots, just an FYI, but you gotta know why. Morris County here, this is where you just got to be careful too. It's a great county for laws and regulations. It's not too strict, but you don't have a lot of multifamilies in these towns. I mean, when you go on the MLS, there's probably 20, maybe 25 properties for sale in the entire county. 20,
maybe 25 properties for sale in the entire county.
That's not a lot at all, where you go to some towns and, a place like Patterson has 30 multifamilies for sale right now. But, so there's not much opportunity. Places like Morristown tend to be a hot spot. You see a decent amount of multifamilies there. And then you go a little further west, you got places like Netcong, you got places like Dover. There's opportunity. They all have train stations, which is great. It's on the Morris-Essex line, which is NYC direct. But you're a little further out. There's probably not going to get too many tenants looking to take the train from, Netcong to NYC. You might, but you never know. It's there. So it's a nice, it's a turn on, it's good. People like that. But really one of the hot spots is going to be the Morristown area, Morris Plains, get some multifamilies hopping up there. But they're all very close to the train stations in the downtowns, which is nice. So I like Morris County for the laws and the regulations. I think the taxes are a little bit lower there, which is nice. But once again, the rents are not so much. It's funny. I actually live in Morris County, and a lot of people will come to me because they're like, hey, Shawn, you live in, Boonton. And they're like, I want to go buy a house in Boonton. I'm like, well, do you want to pay a lot of money and get kind of lower rents? Or do you want to pay the same amount and maybe get higher rents? That's where these next two counties I'm going to be talking about come into play. And the next one is going to be Union County. So Union County, I like. Got a property in Union County myself. It's on the New York City Direct Transit line, so that's really cool. Tenants go out, they walk to it. Town of Summit, great area. New Providence, once again, they're all train lines that go into New York City, and it's so convenient because look how close you are. You're right there. Just sold a property in Linden. Really awesome. Super excited for my clients on this property because it's a really awesome, well-maintained duplex, but the train station is a walk away. So this is the Union line, and they're opening it up more and more with going into the city direct. So there's a lot of proximity in these towns, and they're nice, small little downtowns. The Garwood, the Westfield, the North Plainfield, all these things all on the transit line that go into NYC. And it's like, that is just so desirable. Imagine walking out of your property, getting onto a train, going into the city. Something else I want to say about Union County is, the taxes aren't crazy. They're really not that wild compared to other towns. I personally have a property where I'm like, are they just being really nice to us? And they're like, hey, they like you a lot. Maybe they forgot about us or something, because the taxes are, I don't want to jinx it. Oh my gosh, please. Oh my goodness. But they're not wild. And I'm getting these rents that are like, woo, love it. So I like Union County a lot. What I also like about Union County is the price to enter. You're getting everything. I mean, you go to a place like Summit, yeah, it's $1 million homes. But you go down, you go to Garwood, Cranford, beautiful downtowns, and the price to enter is not as wild as other towns. So you have a nice mix with very desirable locations. North Plainfield right over here. This is Somerset County as well. See, going into Somerset County, the transit line goes. Green Township, really good location. So that's Somerset County, but they're all a little bit lower price to enter places. But it's all because they're on that transit line to get in here. So I'm liking Union County a lot. No idea who the hell this guy is, but hey, call him if you need a cleanup crew. I can't believe that just appeared for no reason. I must have clicked it. All right. As I promised, I'm going to be going to my number one location now. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of business here for a long time, and that is Essex County. Love Essex County. I mean, the amount of clients I have in the area, really, really awesome. And a lot of that just has to do with the fact that you've got multiple transit lines that go directly into the city. You have the Montclair Boonton line, and you have the Morris Essex line. So that means there are two locations that go bam right into NYC. Imagine living in your apartment. You wake up in the morning, you walk to a train station, and you are in the city. How much will people pay for that? They'll pay a lot of money for that. They love it. And that is just like, I want out of the city. I don't like the city anymore. I'm sick of being in the city, but I have to work here. What do? You move to the suburbs. You move to places like Essex County where you can get away. You don't move to Hudson County because Hudson County still is a city. You're still looking at the concrete jungle right across the river from you. You're in one yourself, all right? So you want to escape that. You're going to go to a place like Essex, and there's a lot of opportunity. Price to enter is there. Rents are there. You're getting a best of both worlds. Taxes are a little bit higher in Essex County, but like I said, the rents compensate for that, and especially the rental increases we see year over year. Now, look, there are cities you want to avoid in Essex County. That's where you reach out to me. That's where you text me and you say, Shawn, what are the cities that I need to avoid? Because there are some really, really rough cities there. You can text me any single time on my number. I'll probably have it popping up right here somewhere. But you text me any single time, I'll get back to you, okay? Because you want to avoid certain ones that have the wild laws that are just like, I'm not kidding. I love Essex County, but there's literally a city there in Essex County that has the strictest landlording laws in the world. Like, they're up there. I'm not exaggerating. It's like a really, really, really bad place. So, that's all the landlording laws though, okay? If you want to go there, by all means you can, but I'm just saying, you probably don't want to be in the place that has really strict landlording laws. That's just my opinion. Some of these towns that I absolutely love though, I mean, you got places like Bloomfield, you got places like Montclair, they're right on the transit line. I got property in Caldwell, I love the Caldwells. Milburn, very, very expensive to get in, but once again, very, very high rents. Maplewood, expensive to get in, but direct line transit right there, really awesome. South Orange, I love it. I actually have one of my clients' properties popping up right here. So I got a lot of clients in the area. Really great proximity. You got the, 280, you got access to it, you got the parkway going through, you got a little bit of everything. But now you have to avoid those towns that just are not good. Every county has good towns. Every county has no-fly zones, okay? That's where you reach out to me and I can dive deeper because a lot of it has to do with your needs too, where if you come to me and you say, hey, look, I'm working in the suburbs. Okay, maybe we check out a little bit further west, lower price to enter, still get high demand, but maybe you need proximity to the city. Okay, let's stay a little closer east, a little bit higher price to enter, but you're getting those wild rents. So a lot of this comes down to you and what you're looking for to make sure you can make the decision of where you want to house hack and get to your financial goals. I'll be looking out for your text message. Send it right now. But till then, why don't you watch the next video we got going on here? And that's going to keep breaking more things down with house hacking because I know you're going to get the financial freedom. And I'm going to be doing everything I can to help on that journey for you.